What's up and welcome back to the Kind of Funny Gamescast for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes. Today, I am joined by the Big Daddy himself, Greg Miller.
Hello, everyone. I have rhythm. All right, I just use it in small, controlled doses.
I thought you just said I have risen, but like with like a lisp. But no, joining us as well. He just released his new album, Black Materia Rebirth, a fantastic album wrapping all through the story of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's also his birthday.
Hey,
it's Mega Ran.
What's up, y'all?
Happy birthday, Mega Ran!
Honored to be here. It's good times to hang out with you.
Now,
guys.
this is a question for the entire panel, but I need to know straight up: could I rock a tracksuit like this?
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I want to do this
fucking
so
not. No.
bad.
I can see it. No,
I think so.
I think you can pull it off.
yeah, I feel it.
I want to see it. Do I think you can pull it off? No.
no, I don't.
but
Yeah,
wanna
pull off
see it.
is doing all the work there. I don't know about.
You guys are mean. To me.
I'm in support of you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bless.
I think you do it.
Yeah.
No.
And then rounding out our group today, it's the two stars of the show. These boys both just went to Japan for the very first time. They were there for an entire week, and we're going to get to hear all about it. It's Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
and Roger Picorni.
Hi.
I have not been more excited for a podcast in a very,
100%.
very long time. This is going to be very special. But let me get through the rigmarole real quick. Remember, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of the shows ad-free. You can watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, though, live, you can submit your thoughts and opinions as a YouTube super chat as we go. So if you have any questions about Japan or any questions for Mega Ran,
Just questions about Japan in
about their
general.
time in Japan, I feel like they understood. You can YouTube super chat in. Little housekeeping for you. You just got a Games Daily that was Greg and I breaking down the insanity that is Concord being shut down. And you also saw Mega Ran break it down. With his song Tractor Beam is featured on the Clerks 3 soundtrack. Woo! He did that shit live, and it was awesome. Greg may or may not have had rhythm. You'll have to watch to find out, though. Up next, Mike and Andy are streaming Deadlock on Twitch and YouTube. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Greg Way, where you can watch Greg actually live react to him finding out the news of Concord shutting down. And you can get the KF podcast live when we record it later today. Otherwise, tomorrow on YouTube and podcast services. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Dragon Age Vows and Vengeance, the podcast, and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the topic of the show. Blessing and Roger went to Japan and met Hideo Kojima. Wow.
We did it.
What a headline.
What
a headline.
That actually happened.
What a story. What a world we live in. Bless, how did this start?
I mean, it started with me coming into work one day and Tim being like, hey, step in here real quick.
Yeah.
Step into the meeting room. And I was like, oh, finally, it's happening.
Yeah,
it
was
was
you-
going down.
it was you-
Listen, you know it's been a challenging economic headwind time in the industry.
Yeah, that was incredible because it was Tim, it was Greg, and then I think Bless was already in that meeting room, right? And then you pulled me in too. I think it was like that. And then I came in, I was like, oh shit, like it's either something really good's happening or something real bad's happening right now.
It was the two of us.
Okay.
We got it, like we heard this opportunity like the day before or so. And we talked about it. We ruminated on like what the right plan
the
of
right
action
people to
is
send?
for this opportunity.
We're able to say what the opportunity
Yeah.
was
Yes.
yet?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had gotten hit up by PlayStation saying, hey, do you want to send someone or do you want to come to interview the team, Asobi, about an Astrobot? And we were like, oh, this is actually a really cool opportunity. We can do a lot of cool stuff with this. And then it was like, all right, well, who do we send and what do we do and what are we trying to turn out of it?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was me and Tim thought real quickly after a meeting, but it was obvious that you guys would be the great fit. Of course, that Blessing can go and talk about the game. Roger can go and also talk about the game, but, do a highlight channel social thing. Let's get some cool videos. Let's get some really cool stuff put together.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I was gonna say, and as we were, booking the trip, and you're talking to PlayStation and all this stuff, it turned into a thing of, all right, you guys are gonna be there for 3 days, and then it turned into a week of us being there, which then turned into, all right, like, how are we gonna make the most out of this opportunity? Like, we're gonna be in Japan for a week. Can we send you places? Can we send you to Kojima Productions to visit Kojima, and then also give him a gift as like a thank you for being part of our studio opening video?
Yeah.
Yeah, but really quick before that, I just want to tell everyone our reactions to being told that we're going to go to Japan, right?
Blessing did the exact same thing he always does.
Yes.
He just he's emotionless
Yep,
and stares at you.
exactly.
And you're like, was he happy? Is he
Yeah,
sad?
yeah.
And you went.
Yeah. I did like that. I did a full. I was not cool about it. I did a full jump because you guys did the great. I was surprised it wasn't content, right? I'm surprised you guys didn't put a camera on our face. You
Well,
should
Mr.
have.
Blessing having
Yeah.
no effect.
When you give me any reaction,
Not my fault.
content,
I'm cool.
But no, it was great because you did the thing where you're like, oh, like, I see Astrobot. I'm like, all right, I'm going to LA. Like, I've never been on a work trip, so that's cool either way. Like, I've never been on a work trip. That's awesome. But then you said in Japan, and like I did a little jump, and I looked over at Blessing like, you're excited, right? And you just like the little light smile.
So
the little light
another
smile.
day, another day at work. You know what I mean?
Hate this kid.
But then, obviously, we were very excited. Y'all were excited. And now I'm excited to hear all about it. Roger, I want to, I was gone. This is the other weird thing about Kind of Funny right now is like, this has been kind of the month of vacations where it just happened to be that Greg was out, I was out, Nick's
Mike's
now
out.
out, Mike was out. Like, vacations and also just work trips and baby moons and like just everything. So, not everyone's been in the office, and specifically Greg and I have been on a weird kind of cadence. So there's a lot of decisions being made that I've been unaware of or just conversations that I didn't know about, which is weird for me because I normally am a little bit more in this shit. So there's this whole gift situation that I didn't even know about. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, this was actually Greg's idea.
Greg.
Well, we're going to meet Kojima, and he's like, okay, well, the in is we're going to give him a gift for doing the intro to our spare
Well, yeah,
bedroom.
because it was the idea of like, all right, how can I get you guys a meeting with Hideo Kojima? But
meeting of the
Megan, you've
minds.
been to Japan. Have you met Hideo Kojima
No.
in Japan? Right. It's not the easiest invitation to get, like, unless you're like Elijah Wood or whatever. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was. I was like, well, I don't want to just be like, hey. They've always been, if you're ever here, come over. If you're ever here, come over. And so it was like, I didn't want to just be like, hey, can we get a tour? And then I was like, you know what? Of course, back in October 22, he kicked off the spare bedroom. He kicked off our studio by giving us the VO and giving us the video. And again, they were the best about that. They over-delivered in every way.
Yeah.
If you've never heard that story, it was me begging through the multiple PR people that it started with the one PR guy I knew that then evolved into the whole thing, and me and Hideo's DMs to get the right people and I did it, and I was just expecting an iPhone voice recording, and instead they asked for rough cuts of the video. They matched audio on their own. They had questions about translations. They did all this. They sent them from a booth. They sent them from just doing it on camera. They over-delivered in every possible way and they just killed it for us. So thank you as always, Kojima Productions, for that. And so then it was like, okay, we're finally going there. What if we sent you two over there with a gift to give them? But then it was, what do you get for Hideo Kojima?
Yeah,
Good
the man
question.
who has everything. The man who has
So
everything.
I was like, well, I know he loves movies. So what if everybody at Kind of Funny picked a Blu-ray of their choice to give him with a note? And then Roger, of course, iterated on the idea and said, what about a cassette?
Yeah, I said cassettes, and then I got so much shit around the fucking office for this. You know what I mean? Like I said cassettes, and then everyone looked at me and was like, "Oh, they make cassettes still?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they make cassettes. Like it's a new thing now. Like the Gen
back. Old
the
as
Gen
new
Zers.
again.
Yeah, thank you, Megaran.
back.
Thank you
It's
so much.
Megaran knows.
Yeah, he
First
knows.
off, I don't like that I'm getting roped in.
Well, I'm just
because you
saying
said,
that-
what about a movie or a cassette? I said, that's a great idea.
No,
And then
no.
I said, I'm old and don't know. Can
That's
we
true.
still get cassettes? And you're like, oh, yeah.
But you know who I'm giving shit to?
Mike.
Blessing Eddie Oye fucking Jr.
Well, no, because I looked up a
because
cassette.
I said
Oh,
because
yeah.
I
Also,
y'all.
I wasn't the first person to complain about the cassette. It was Mike, and then
you
I
should
hopped
know
in.
better. You should know
I
better.
hopped
Mike
in
is,
because I was
Mike
like,
is
Mike is
45
right.
years old. You're one of the youths. You know what I mean? You should have known
Which
about
is
this.
why I knew there weren't cassettes, because I then looked. I was like,
word cassettes.
I was like, oh, cassette. And I started looking up cassettes of like
Yeah.
what albums when I want to give Kojima. None of them had cassettes.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's
That's
no
fair.
cassette of like Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. You know what I
fair.
mean?
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I ended up going with CD either way. So I was wrong about the cassettes, about my specific cassettes. I tried to find some things. I tried to find some other ones. I couldn't find cassettes, but I ended up going for a CD. So yeah, we all chose our favorite things around the office. Kevin gave a book. We'll get to Mike's gift in a little bit. I
can't wait.
Do you know about this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was
I'm
there when
excited
they
about
were printing the DVD cover.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a
So
little
I
bit.
don't know about this because again, I was in Mexico at the time, and I'm slacking back and forth with Raj, and he's like, "Hey, if you have a gift for him, like just like write a little note about it." And so of course, I take this very seriously. I write up a blurb. I think about it. I'm like, what's the right thing to give? And then I see Imran tweet, who was in the office, and Imran's like, "Oh, I know about the gifts they're giving. It's hilarious." And I was
you
like,
don't know about Mike's?
"No." And I'm just like, "What is the content?
We're making content. We're making content today.
Oh, okay.
We're making some content today. This is exciting. Yeah, so we all chose our
So
favorite
glad
thing.
you're here, Megan.
Oh my god. Me too.
Yeah, so we all chose our favorite things. Yeah, a lot of back and forth. We can go through, Kevin, I don't know if you have the video really quick in the beginning. So
goodness.
this is actually what we ended up doing, where I took everyone's blurb and I made it into an actual graphic that we were going to print out and put into a little envelope attached to each of our favorite things. We can go through. We'll go through each of them.
Nick Snow, Scarpino.
Yeah. So, yeah, really quick. We pause really quick. Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like Lanza is actually cutting them out, and Lanza came on the trip too with my partner,
Which was another adorable Roger moment.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Can I talk to you in the conference room alone?" And I was like, "Oh shit, you know who did what to what now?" And I went in there. He's like, "Hey, she's just like going on this trip," and it's like, if I paid for Leanne's ticket, could she come too? And I acted mad. I'm like, "Yeah, of course. That's one of the perks of doing this whole thing. Go for it."
Yeah. No, that was an incredible experience. So she was able
brought
to.
my freaking son to PAX.
So yeah, we printed out all of this, and everyone had our little blurb. I didn't put the full blurb on the screen. I don't know if anyone has anything private, but I don't think so. But yeah, so we cut them out individually. You can keep on playing, Kevin. We.
Thank you so much for doing this. By the way,
Yeah.
this is so freaking awesome and
this
so
is-
above and beyond. I love
Exactly.
it.
This is what I love about working here is that I can come in with an idea that I think's good. Of like, oh, we'll give them movies and we'll write notes, and you guys go and take it to another level.
Yeah. So, and the cool thing about this is that working with Leanza, my partner, who is a graphic designer, went to graphic design school, she's able to push the ideas. Like I was so tired the week going into Japan, where I was so like, whatever, we're doing this thing, let's just figure out a box to give to. And she was like, no, this is a big opportunity. Let's push this. Let's make this a big thing. So we had double-sided prints for each of our messages. As you can see there, that took a whole thing with going to fucking, Walgreens or whatever, get it printed out. and then over here, I got the Kind of Funny logo. I didn't ask Andy, so this might be an old Kind of Funny
It's
logo.
probably one.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
one you pick's always the wrong one.
Exactly. And then we actually got stamps.
Nice.
So we stamped every single one of the mini envelopes
love that.
right there. I try to get it in focus for the video watchers. And then we had these mini envelopes that we stamped and put each of the little note cards perfectly onto, and
What's
then we
happening
attached to our favorite thing.
They're drying
She's
it.
drying it. She's using her top listening. So this
Cool
is all the
G.
choices. This is Cool G's. He chose Jay-Z's The Black Album, of course. Andy chose Endless Fantasy by
Nice.
Amamaguchi. Amamaguchi.
Nailed it.
Blessing chose
Challengers.
Love it.
Big deal for him. Well, Tim, do you want to pause really
Nice.
quick? Tim, you want to talk about your choice?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is Tone Deaf. I've talked about Tone Deaf a million times on the shows, but this is Tone Deaf's most recent album, came out in 2016 called Polymer, that I think is just incredible. And the moment I heard it, I'm like, this reminds me of Hideo Kojima so much, just in terms of like how you can't put it into one genre. It's kind of very experimental. It's all over the place. And like, it's just, but there is so much vision to it all. And what was wild about it is like, you can't just buy this album right now. You can buy it digitally, but you can't. I couldn't get the CD, and I'm in Mexico, had to get it to Roger by a certain dates for him to go to Japan. And so I literally just hit up Tone Deaf and I'm like, bro, do you happen to have any copies at your house?
Yeah.
And he express overnight shipped it. So
Shout out to
very
Tone
happy
Deaf.
that all
That's
worked
amazing.
out because, but anyway, thank
That's
you so
so
much for
dope.
doing
Of
that.
course, yeah. I came with a sticker and it was signed and everything.
Did you tell him it was for Kojima? Or
Yeah. And he was,
It's like, say less, fam.
yeah, for reals, for reals.
Yeah, I chose Caroline's newest album, Caroline Polachek's. We'll talk about that later. Greg, do you want to talk about your choice real quick?
Sure, I picked Coherence. It's a film. I was for me. I was out. I think when you made the move to CDs because I was looking for a cassette of Weezer's Pinkerton. I was going to send that, and then of course. I think if you hear about this, you think I'm going to send him Ghostbusters. It's well known that Hideo Kojima has seen Ghostbusters. All right, he's had both positive reviews and then just it is a movie. So he's seen Frozen Empire. All right, so he's doing more than most of you. So then it wasn't this weird one of like, what would I send Kojima that I love? And so it was down to Mallrats, which of course I love so much. You know how much I love Kevin Smith. And then Coherence. Coherence is an amazing sci-fi film that I feel most people haven't seen. It's very much one of those like. I'd never heard of it, and I watched it in line in a car to get a tailgate spot with my best friend from college, Kyle, when I went to visit Mizzou years ago now. And every so often it comes around the thought carousel, and I just think about that entire movie plot point and what would I do differently and yada, yada, yada. Fantastic movie. You haven't seen it. It was one of those of like, it's either he's going to know this backwards and forwards because it's his kind of movie, or I'm going to give him something he's missed too. And so it was either he'll think I have good taste or he'll get something new.
It wins either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see the reaction in a little bit. But yeah, no, that was a good choice right there. Joey chose
from
Lady
Joey.
Bird, of course.
Nice.
That's a great
good
one.
pick.
That's a great one right
call.
there.
I like that a lot.
Nick chose Die Hard,
Hard.
and then his message was Yippee Ki-Yay, Hideo Kojima. And the cutest thing in the world was him going up to you and just being like, is it okay if I write this? And your reaction was, of course. Yeah, he's going to love it. He's going to love it.
It was the best. You know what I mean?
Kevin, you want to talk about your choice real quick?
This is a book that like I listened to the audio maybe like 5 years ago, but like it's sci-fi. It's really, really sci-fi. Like when you start hearing the names, you're like, oh, it's some nerd shit. And like by the end of it, like all of it is like really trippy and crazy. Where it's like one chapter is current time, another chapter is like backwards in time, and like as the current time progresses, the one that's backwards in time is progressing in the opposite direction. So you're getting an understanding of like it's hard to explain, but like it's really, really good sci-fi, and by the end of it, the book left me shook, and I was just like, oh man, I want to share this with someone. Haven't had the opportunity, and now I had finally an opportunity to share it with someone really cool, so I did.
That's awesome. That's a great pick. And then Barrett chose car seat headrest, Teens of Denial.
Interesting.
That's a good one right there. And then really quick, this is Leanza works at a company called Topicals. This is not a plug or anything, but she was like, "Hey, eye masks are skincare is really popular in Japan, and we have some why not just throw it in there? Why not throw it in there?" She didn't put a note, so he was very confused in the beginning when he picked it up. So you'll see that in a little bit. And then really quick, pause. This is the moment we're all here for, and this is the moment that I forgot about until he picked up the DVD, and the DVD was Mike looked at me, he said, I'm gonna make the Snowbike Mike movie all together, all of my little supercuts, and put it into one DVD. So Snowbike Mike goes big. He's going mainstream with it, which he was very proud of. So yeah, it just keeps on going of me showing it off, but it's a full-on DVD.
Is this the final cutout we went with?
Yes. So here's the thing. He sent this to me. Really pause it really quick. Pause it. So he sends this to me, right? And then he sends me the file and says, hey, I'm going to print this out, get this printed out at FedEx. I was like, oh, let me do a test print. Maybe I'll print it out myself. I'm going to Walgreens or whatever soon. And then I print it out and it's the wrong dimensions. And this is the day before I'm about to leave, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like Friday. And I'm like, do I change this entire design? Do I try to extend it? Or do I just leave it like this? And I kind of looked at myself. I was like, Roger, what is the best thing to do? I'm leaving it like this. Like this is so Snowbike Micah, and I want him to pick this up and see this and be like, what is this? So yeah, Mike made an entire cover and everything. It has images, and then he just kind of left it blank.
Jesus.
He just kind of
went above and beyond for the DVD
He told
itself.
me he was gonna make a cover for it.
No. He just wrote
movie.
SBM the movie.
No, that's my writing. I wrote that.
Oh, yeah.
I
Blank.
actually made this.
Yeah. So thank you, Kevin, for doing that, because he was trying to pull me into it, and then I tried doing it. And I think I might have installed a virus.
I love it.
Kevin, do you want to explain like a little bit of the conversations of working with Mike about this?
Yeah, Mike said, he was like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, yeah, Mike, it's actually quite complicated to make a DVD with like menus and stuff. You can't just put it on the disc. And he's like, I don't think so, Snappy. Put it on a disc, put the disc in the thing, and it just didn't work. So I did a little bit of research, found a program that was like the last time anyone talked about it in forums was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Had that work, it didn't actually output the menu. So then I had to get a different program to burn the actual disc. And
Who
that all
had a
worked.
disc reader?
Oh, we bought one.
We bought one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But, like-
the company.
Yep.
We should have bought a better one, and I'm upset about that too. But it's fine. It doesn't
I have
matter.
a good one if we need it next time.
But yeah, so like the DVD itself has menus and menu screens and stuff like that. So yeah.
Hell yeah, that's amazing. Who wrote the copy on the back?
Okay, so that's a great question. Great question. So Mike gives me all this, and he's like, "Man, you read the captions." And I'm like, "It's like whatever, it's fine." I'm like, "Yeah, cool." He's like, "Yeah, ChatGPT is really cool, man. ChatGPT is awesome, Slappy." And I'm like, looking at him, I'm like, "You put so much effort into all of this, and no effort in a lot of parts of it, and then you just said, hey, write me a paragraph."
Yeah, because can you bring it back up? Because we don't need to. We don't
Also,
need to.
did he
Yeah,
put
I
a
wanna
lot of
read the
effort
back of
in?
that.
Well, he
I
put a
need
lot
to
of
read
effort
the
in
back of
parts
that.
of it, right?
Gotcha.
Like the cover of it looks good. It's the wrong dimensions, right? Like the actual CD is wrong.
We don't need to read the whole thing. You can read it on your own leisure if
Snowbike
you'd
Mike
like.
Goes Big is an exhilarating ride through the rise of one of the most unexpected action sports icons of the
Jesus.
decade.
Not bad.
Snowbike Mike, a once unknown snow biker, captured the world's attention with his audacious stunts and boundless charisma. The film chronicles the journey from local competitions to dominating international stages, showcasing how his fearless approach and innovative techniques are pushing the boundaries of the snowbike sport. With his growing fame, Snowbike Mike is not only elevating his own career, but also bringing snow biking to the mainstream.
He's right about that one.
Inspiring a new generation of fans and athletes. Then in bold, his meteoric rise is proving that with grit and passion, even the coldest terrains can lead to the hottest successes.
That's the part I wanted to read right there.
You might be right about ChatGPT.
The coldest terrains can lead to the hottest successes is so good, and I love that some of it, him bringing Snowbikes to mainstream, that's real.
It is.
But his international successes, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if that's accurate, especially
like
based
flying.
on I've seen the movie. You know what I mean? I've seen that movie.
Yeah, he's known by several people around the world.
I guess you're right.
I appreciate also Kevin putting so much work into this, right? Because originally I saw it and it was just there was like, oh, it was like 1080p, like regular 6.
No, it was 720.
Oh, 720p
Yeah.
rather. And then half of the video, like, because there's 3, I believe, videos in one cobbled together. One of them was like maybe 240p and it wasn't scaled up.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna let it rock. I was like,
also
fuck
the
this. You know what I
audio-
mean?
It's like on a flip phone.
It had music tracks and audio of people talking only on the right side.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we fixed it all. Don't worry.
Yeah, he figured it out.
yeah.
Yeah, he went into Premiere and he made it happen.
So Mega Ran, since you weren't here, we didn't get the chance for you to contribute. What would you, if an album or a movie, what would you give Hideo Kojima?
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Right. And you can say your own music. I don't mind.
I'd probably give him Black Material, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I would actually like to, I wonder his opinions and feelings on like art, like we do, where it's kind of derivative on like the pop culture things
Sure,
that we're inspired by. So yeah, I think I would give him one of my albums, and not even on like this is great, but just like, what do you think about this?
Sure,
You
sure,
I
know?
feel like you
Sure,
need
sure.
to make a Metal Gear album. Like you
I
need
mean,
to create something original.
Dude.
I think that would trigger it for sure. Like
Yeah.
being able to meet him and give him a gift, I'd be like, well, it's time to do an album now. For sure. All right. That would kind of slap.
So then, so we have the Snowbike Mike DVD. That was the last part of our gift.
So good.
And then we put it all together. We bought talking about using the company card. We needed to find a cool box.
Yeah,
So
no, that's understandable.
so I needed to buy a box.
Thank you for giving Portillo the wiener dog.
Yes,
He's
of course.
amazing.
We got the Portillo. This box was $16.
That's a great price
You know,
for
you
a
just got to
box.
do it. You just got to do it. But
Great
it
price for
was a great price for a box.
Shirts.
But
Some kid
we
merch
put
in
some
there,
shirts, and then
How do you transport the box? Was it like all broken down?
Yes.
No,
it-
you got to
okay.
put it on your back and you got to balance it
you can
out.
pause it really quick, Kev. So then, we
Did you buy it in Japan or did you buy it in?
No, we bought it in America, and then we brought it
Oh
over.
man,
Yeah,
see that would be like my when I
Oh.
tasked you with this, I
Yeah.
was so happy not to be doing it because
Yeah.
I'm like I hate packing extra shit.
Yes, so we had an entire suitcase that was empty, just for bringing back stuff and
Oh,
everything.
nice.
It was a great moment at the airport, really
God.
quick. So we're getting to the airport, and we had this extra big, suitcase. And Leanne's, I think you asked like, what is in it or something like
Yeah,
that.
I was like, do you guys have anything in that?
Yeah. And then Leanne's is like, no, we don't. So, if you get extra stuff, you can buy your own, and you can put it in your stuff. And then Blessing looked at it and
Like-
was like, it's an empty suitcase. Like, I can't put my stuff in there. Like,
It was just a funny delivery of like, because I think she said it without realizing what she said. Of
Yeah.
me being like, oh yeah, you guys got anything in there? And she's like, oh no, we got it so we can bring things back. If you want to bring things back, you can get a suitcase in Japan. I'm like,
Just for us to bring things
yeah.
back.
I was like, oh, all right.
Get your own, bro.
Yeah, me and Roger just dying. Like Lance is like,
Wow.
no, and I was like, not like that, not like that.
Yeah, she's the best. We bought an extra box, and then we returned the other one. But yeah, we got an extra box. It was all flat out, and then we brought it into the suitcase. So we built it all. That video was us building it in the hotel room.
Gotcha.
The day of. We got there, and then in the lobby of the building. It's a big building. They're on one of the floors. What's the name of that thing? The Spaceman? Is there a name for that?
Oh yeah, the Ludens.
Ludin Sapien.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like a mini version of it. And my favorite thing is that like we're not late. We're definitely not.
We're
late.
super early. Yeah,
we're
we're
pretty
like 10 minutes early.
This
right?
is that
So,
kind of thing you're so excited for that
Yeah.
you like
Yeah.
you want to
get
be
there
cool and but you can't. You got to
that
be
is the
there.
thing, right?
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
night before, like we get there on what day? Like we get there on Tuesday. And it's like 5 p.m. We get in. Me, Roger, and Leanne are talking about like, oh, let's go out. Let's maybe go to Shibuya, hang out, and all these things. The first stop we make is actually to 7-Eleven because Roger has been hyping up these egg sandwiches.
7-Eleven.
And like he keeps talking about it, and I'm like, Roger, like there's no way I'm gonna like eat this 7-Eleven egg sandwich and have it be the best thing I ever eat. We go there, we get the egg sandwich, and I'm like, yo, This egg sandwich is off the chain.
Yeah, I have video of that if you want to pull that up.
Yeah.
Kevin.
It is like-
pull that up really quick. It's in the doc.
I kid you not.
Yes,
I went
this
back
is-
and got this egg sandwich maybe like 8 more times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went 12 times to 7-Eleven. If you want to skip ahead to him eating it really quick, you can put on the audio really quick.
Yeah, because this is me like in doubtful mode of like
It's in the beginning.
it's just an egg sandwich.
So like egg
how
salad
special.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely an egg salad.
Yeah.
And I try it here.
The face of a humbled man.
Immediately, I'm like, oh man, this shit slaps. Fuck, this shit is good.
If you go back a few seconds, it's just him talking so much shit. He's just looking at me. He's like, the people talk about these egg sandwiches. I've never heard of this. The cassette thing. It's the cassette thing.
And so yeah, if you go to Tokyo, definitely go to 7-Eleven and get the egg sandwich. It might be like your main. It might be your main like fallback meal for your entire trip. But like this day, the day that we land, we keep talking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and I think we realized that we're just tired.
Yeah.
And so we're like, you know what, like let's call it chill. We got to get there by 1 p.m. the next day. So like let's hang back, let's go to sleep. I think Roger and Lee end up retiring at the hotel at like 8 p.m. I'm like, I at least want to make it to 10. Because I don't want to be super jet lagged the next day. And so I just start walking around the neighborhood. I end up at a bar with like me and this lady who must be like 80 years old who owns the bar. And it's just us kicking it.
Oh, nice.
For like an
Love
hour. She overcharges me on some whiskey, but like we're just chatting about like like things to do in Japan.
Was it like
speaks,
$40 for two?
Yeah, it was $40 for 2 drinks.
He's in a maid cafe. She's charging for his time.
Really likes me.
It was just the weird thing if I walk in and I'm like, I saw on Yelp that like the owners of this place speak English. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can come here and hang out. It's completely empty because apparently like right now in Japan, or at least like around this time, it's August, which is like when it gets the most hot and people just go on vacation.
Yeah.
So even her staff are like just gone. So it's just us two in the bar. She sits next to me, starts having conversation. Eventually it turns into a thing of like, she asked me where I'm from and I'm like, oh, I'm from San Francisco, California. And she's like, oh, California, that's the 3rd biggest state in the US. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. And she's like, it's around the same size as Japan. And I was like, how do you know so much about her? And it turns out she's like traveled the world. She's been to a bunch of different countries.
awesome.
I get along with this 80-year-old woman over the course of an hour. And then I ask for the check and it's like way higher. I should have known. It's like hindsight's 2020 when I get there and I ask for the menu of drinks and she gives me the menu and she's like, she points at the prices and she's like, oh, all this is outdated. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, you
Wes.
got
I'd be like,
got,
all
bro.
right,
You
write
got
it down. Write
Yeah.
down.
Like when I get my drinks and she tells me the final price and in my head I'm like, they told me the yen was weak right now. Like, they told me. They told me. I heard
Shit's
that.
real strong.
Everybody's been telling me the yen was weak. It's stronger than ever. It's pretty strong right now. Based on the final
This
price.
bar is so strong.
Yeah. I was like, dude, the yen is stronger than ever. And so like, whatever, I paid it. But then I go back and like, go to sleep. We wake up and we're like, all right, 1 p.m. We
Yeah,
got to get to
1
Kojima
p.m.
Productions. And like, we do a really good job actually.
Did
like,
you sleep in in crazy or?
Well, no. That morning we did the Sonic reaction, the Sonic 3 trailer reaction.
yes.
I looked at Blessing. I was like, "We're doing this. We have to do
did
it
we
right here."
Did we do egg sandwiches? First
No,
thing in
we
the
did.
morning?
We went to the
Oh, we got the hotel
hotel
breakfast,
breakfast,
which
which
was a mistake.
Awful. It was awful. It was
Like
like
the food was good, but it was also like we
No.
would have preferred the egg sandwiches.
no, it was not good. It was not
Oh, you
good.
didn't think it was good?
No, no.
I like
They
the
give
fruit.
we also fucked up because it's like, do you want the Japanese breakfast or do you want the American breakfast? And I was like, because the American breakfast had an omelet, and I was like, oh, I hear good things about the omelets here. They do kind of like a soft omelet or whatever. And then we get it, and it's like the most mid omelet in the world with like 3 tater tots on the side, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing, like the floppiest bacon.
Yeah,
it was like
So we
$75.
Did that, went back to the hotel, did the Sonic reaction, talked a bit about the Nintendo Direct, and then it was off to Kojima Productions.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Right?
But before you get to 1 p.m., everybody, let's take a quick little word from our sponsors.
From the award-winning game studio BioWare comes an immersive fantasy series, Dragon Age: Vows and Vengeance. A pair of heroes brought together by fate to embark on a journey of revenge, redemption, and love. Set in the vast world of Thetis, Dragon Age: Vows and Vengeance features key characters from the upcoming game Dragon Age: The Veilguard, rated M for mature. Let's check out a trailer.
So, what's the mark?
The Eye of Cthiska. From the world of Dragon Age comes a new tale.
The eye was crafted centuries ago by a powerful dreamer.
Listen to me. You've been tricked. We have to put this back and leave.
I'm sorry, but I won't let you pay for my mistakes.
The eye will destroy us.
Dragon Age, Vows and Vengeance. Listen and subscribe wherever you get podcasts.
Check out Dragon Age, Vows and Vengeance, an 8-episode immersive fantasy series now at kindafunny.com/dragonage. That's kindafunny.com/dragonage. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. What's something you'd love to learn? As an adult, do you make time to learn new things as often as you'd like? Or was that lost in childhood? Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you'd like to learn? Gardening, a new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come at any age. Some of Tim's best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who have experienced a major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/kindafunny today for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny.
So 1 p.m. comes.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
1
So
p.m. Yeah, so
before 1 p.m., I need y'all to know how good we are at being employees. Where we are so fucking prepared. We're so organized. We are like, yo, all right, let's not even take the train. We're going to call a taxi. We want to make sure that we get there on time. We get there like 15 to 20 minutes early. We have time to like get settled, make sure we're in the right place. There was like a traffic blockage, and so like we even had enough time to our Uber could find a different route, and we still get there with time to waste. Killing it. Get there. We saw the Luna statue at the bottom floor, so we knew we were in the right place, and also I was super excited to just see this alone.
Yeah, and then just right after this, I think I have a little footage of just Blessing in the corner, just like taking photos.
I was so excited, dude.
I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, we're gonna see the big one. Like,
this is where it started to set in for me.
Stop,
This is
this is where it started to set in for me of like, oh man, this is Kojima Productions.
This is a
I'm about to
moment
meet
right now.
who is my
You take this
favorite
off, man.
developer of all time, right? Like the man who like made Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding and PT and like so many games that I love. And so we get in the elevator, we get to the top to the floor where they're on, and we get out.
It's like 150-ish.
It's like 12:50.
12. Sorry,
Yeah, we like
12:50,
have
so-
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10
I'm
minutes.
also like I text our guy on the way there, Aki, who's like our PR contact.
Yeah.
And also like he's on Kojima's team, and like I believe his translator. I don't know if he has multiple translators, but one of the translators.
Yeah.
Right. Text him on the way there via WhatsApp. I don't know if he gets it, but get there 12:50. I call up Aki to like let us in. He answers.
Until 10 minutes early, right?
10
You
minutes
wanna
early,
call
yeah.
him,
He answers and he's like, hello. And I'm like, oh, hey, Aki, this is Blessing from Kinda Funny. Me, Roger, and Leanne just got here. And he's like, oh, Blessing, what are you guys doing here? And I'm like, oh, we're here for the tour.
The way my heart would drop.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I mean, I thought that was at 2 p.m. And I was like, oh, I mean, if it's at 2 p.m., like I didn't even question it. I was like, oh, if it's at 2 p.m., we can come back. Like, it's totally cool. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Stay there. We'll come get you in a second. Well, yeah, stay there. And like hangs up. And I look at Roger, and Roger's like, oh, okay, we'll just come back. And I'm like, no, Roger, he's on his way here.
No.
And we're like freaking out. We're like, what the fuck is going on? We check the Slack. I don't know where 1 p.m. came from.
Yeah.
After all this 1 p.m. talk.
Wow.
What good employees? Did I tell you that? And I'm not going to point fingers or anything.
How great would it be if the Slack was like, I can't get you
Wow.
a tour?
Greg, you've taught me everything in this world, right? You've taught me how to be a great employee, how to, actually show up for a business meeting. What do you always say? Be there early, right? So I just wanted to make sure we were there an hour early. No, of course not. I messed up the next day, which our appointment was at 1. And I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, and it's also military time you wrote it down in. So like,
That's how they wrote it.
That's
So
how
I
they
was-
wrote it. Yeah, I'm not blaming you at all. But if they wrote it military time, my brain doesn't understand military time. I
We're
thought,
American. We're
14,
dumb Americans.
13. Yeah, exactly.
So
Look
like,
it up.
we're like mini freaking out a little bit because we're like, well, a lot of things go through our heads. One, oh shit, like we're being so rude by
Yeah,
showing up
so
an hour
rude.
early, right? Like we felt so bad about that. And like I couldn't convince them to be like, let us come back an hour later, because like they're very accommodating, right? Like they're like, no, we don't want you to go away. Like come through, we'll do the thing, we'll figure it out. And so we're freaking out about that first and foremost. Secondly, we're like, Kojima's a very busy man. are we not going to be able to see Kojima and give him this gift face to face?
Little Czar in the chat says 13 is 1 hour after 12.
You know, 14, 15. You know, you just want to be there early just in case, right? If you're meeting Kojima, you got to be there early, right, Bless? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So all this stuff is going through our heads, and we're like, oh shit, like we fucked up. Like we're not going to be able to see Kojima.
Yeah, because
all this stuff.
even Aki was like, hey, like there's a chance, like you might not be able to meet him. Like he's in a meeting, like we're trying our hardest. He was very accommodating.
Aki gets there, and like, you know, he is like, yeah, you know, Kojima's in meetings, and we're like, he sees the box in our hand, and he's like, oh, what's that? And we're like, oh, it's a gift for Kojima, and he's like, oh, you're gonna want to give that to him in person, right? And we're like, oh yeah, like if he's available,
That'd be
like
nice.
that'd be awesome, you know, all this stuff. And so like, you know, he brings us in, sits us down in the cafeteria, and he's like, hey, like, you can chill here for a second. The cafeteria looks fucking cool as hell.
So dope.
It's
Bless
so
is me
dope.
like, do you have egg sandwiches?
Close. No, Aki was like, hey, like, you know, there's a, you know, here's the cafeteria. Like this is the wall with all the signatures. If you look at the wall, it's like drawings and like signatures from like just celebrities. It is Guillermo del Toro. It is Norman Reedus. It is what's her name? Keanu Reeves. What's her name from Queen's Gambit that we love?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy. Like all these different
Ari
celebrities.
Aster, you know, the director of Hereditary and Beau is Afraid, he drew a big penis monster from Beau is Afraid on there, which stands out very heavily when you walk in there. You walk in there, you see that, and you're like, who drew a penis?
You see the penis monster, and like it was funny because, you know, we got in a lot of conversation with Aki about like everything, right? And he's like, oh yeah, he drew that before the movie came out, so we were very confused. We were like, what did he say anything? But
Why is he drawing profanity on the wall?
yeah, so he's like, yeah, that's the signature wall. There's a vending machine over there. Everything in there is free if you want to grab anything. I'll be right back.
So then we're sitting there, we're waiting for the tour and to potentially meet Kojima, and they offer you, oh, there's a free vending machine. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna walk around with a drink in my hand.
I don't know. I'm like, I'm being offered a thing. I'm going to take a thing. And so, like, you know, he leaves to go set
And
the
it's
thing
a-
up.
Shout out to Blast. That's
Really
the right
quick.
call.
It's a Japanese vending machine, so it has a lot of cool drinks in there.
I'll
right?
get to that, but
so
like,
many cool drinks.
I'll get to that.
He you know, leaves to set up the studio, make sure it's good for a tour. And you know, while he's gone, I'm like, we got some time. Let me check out this vending machine, see what's up. I'm looking through it, and I see a Mountain Dew. And like, sure, it has all these fucking like, the vending machine has
Same
all these
logo. It says Mountain Dew on it. You know what I mean? Nothing special.
but it has like Japanese characters written on it. So I'm like, maybe it tastes different. Among all these different drinks they have, I'm like, I'm gonna get the Mountain Dew. So I grab it, you know, sit down, waiting for
Couldn't
him.
get a hot boss coffee out of it. You went for this one.
I'm chilling with his Mountain Dew with Leanza and Roger, who are too stressed to drink anything because we got there early. Aki comes back, and he's like, all right, okay, I think we're about looking good.
He's like, this is like a deep sigh. You got a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he's like, okay, like I think we're about ready for the tour. And he looks and he's like, where'd you get a Mountain Dew? And I was like, oh, it's in the vending machine. He's like, there's Mountain Dew in that vending. Like, he was perplexed. He was like, he did not know that there was Mountain Dew.
God. Wow.
And me trying to, you know, make light of the whole situation and try to, like, you know, bring up the energy a bit. I'm like, you know me, you know, I'm American. I got to get the most American drink. Man, no sells it. Like, I was like,
just nothing.
I'm like, immediately. I'm like, surely it's like a laugh out of Aki. No thing. But then we sit down with him for a second.
You're an hour early. Dude, it's like days fucked.
Yeah. We sit down with him for a second, right? And like, this is what I've come to learn about Aki.
One day I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna get a Mountain Dew for you.
Yeah. Like we start talking to him, and again, Aki, he's on Kojima's personal team. He is like his translator, does a lot of stuff for Kojima. And we start talking to him, just asking him questions and like getting stories. And what I learned is that Aki is the coolest dude of all time. Like he had stories for days about like the amount of like, you know, people that they've met through Kojima Productions. We asked him so many questions about like, you know, how Kojima operates, like how does, you know, Kojima's tweets get formulated? Turns out Aki and, you know, a few other people on his team are the ones that are responsible for a lot of like the English tweets. Kojima does like the Japanese ones, right? But you know, Aki like kind of helps formulate like, all right, like how do we, you know, make this look on the English side? And then also, you know, Aki's just responsible for a lot of the things around him. So we got to ask him so many questions. We were like, yo, you ever been starstruck? And he's talked about like the time where he met Keanu Reeves, and he was, let me expose him a little bit.
No,
I'm sure. No? Okay, I want
just in case.
I'll tell you guys off here. But like, it was anything crazy.
Nah, he's watching it.
It was anything crazy. But like, we just learned so many cool things.
That's
cool.
My favorite question, because he works on especially the social media team. I was like, is real talk between you and me, is Kojima tweeting that much? And he's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, this is him. And then we're just, doing the translations. We have to make sure, everything's accurate, making sure there's no headlines, nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but that was legitimately very interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to talk to him. And then he gave us the tour of Kojima Productions. And when I tell you, it is by far the coolest game studio I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Every room was like, oh shit, like I
So,
can't believe this is this.
You can this is sorry, the video did the weird thing with the flicker.
All the
so
lights in Japan were doing the flicker thing.
Well,
for
it's
me.
with the video. Yeah, because it's the frame rate
Yeah.
thing or whatever. So sorry, epilepsy warning if anyone has that. We'll get out of this pretty soon. But yeah, they showed us this room. So the wall lead up to it is like a completely dark room. Like there's nothing there. Like there's like one strip of light. And they even said, like Aki was explaining, he was like, hey, like originally we want this to be no light in this, but then they said with fire codes you have to have just a little bit of light, and then the doors fucking opened, and it blinds you, and it's like holy crap.
From a complete black room to you walk into this, and
you can
you look around, and like it is the Luden statue in the middle, and it is just mirrors on the side, and it's a completely white room. The first thought I had was like, oh, you have a room entirely like this is like just the room, and then Roger looks at Aki and asks, like, he's like, so there's nothing else that happens in this room, which is what I appreciate.
I said, there's no other purpose for this room other than just looking cool. That's exactly how I said it.
Every time I had a thought, Roger would actually ask the question.
This is my best quality.
It's like Bless said, he's like, I don't want to ask that question.
I'm like, certainly I'm not going to ask this question.
Yeah, it's funny because he was explaining like the purpose of this room was to inspire the employees. Like originally it was like, hey, every morning, like he wanted the employees to come in here, get awe-inspired, kind of think about their day, kind of think about the vision of the game. And then he's like, it doesn't happen. It's like no one does that, but it's this place we take photos, and it's all positive and fun stuff.
Yeah, so we go from here. The mirrors, like if you see the back two mirrors, those are actually doors, which is why you can kind of see like the outlines are a little bit different. It's like a video game, right? We went through the right one first. Through that right one is just like an art room that has a bunch of Yoji Shinkawa art in it, just displayed. And like you can see Yoji's like sketches. There's like a Norman Reedus face scan sculpture in there.
Yeah, it's a full museum.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And like if you're somebody who's a fan of Metal Gear, right? Like Yoji Shinkawa, he's like the art director. All the art you see in that game, right? That's him.
Oh my gosh.
And so to see this stuff up close and personal is really cool. These are some of the original scripts for Death Stranding, I believe, here. And then
This is so incredibly cool.
it was fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, you can skip ahead to the other ones so we can show this off. I can just do the 10 seconds.
I just love how well presented it all is too.
So
Like, there's
cool.
just so much thought into the
100%.
presentation of it all.
So yeah, we looked at all this, we were in awe, and then after this, we went into the other room that was on the other side of the white room, and that was the VIP conference room is what they call it, where you walk in.
Jordan Peele's been in there.
I mean, very likely. I'd almost guarantee it, right? Like you look at it, and it's a cool ass looking conference room with like the TV right there, right? And the favorite thing that
really quick.
The favorite thing that they told us here, right, was that like
So good.
like you have like this cool ass setup with this TV and everything. And Roger described it in the perfect way. Roger was like, it's the most kind of funny thing of Aki's like, yes, we have meetings in here. We can't get the TV to work all the time, so we usually just have a laptop.
It's funny because he was explaining the whole idea of this. He's like, the way that we designed it was that so then the video, the camera underneath the TV would feel like, oh, you're part of the room, right? Like it's a circular design. And they're just like, yeah, I just never look good. So he's like, I bring my laptop and I just got to put it up and we just talk on there. It's just so funny, dude. It's awesome.
So we go from this, we then exit out, and then we see what they call the multi-purpose room.
Yeah, I don't have a video of this, but you can explain
describe
it.
So the multi-purpose room is a room where they'll take like maybe mocap people, the mocap team, and like map out like maybe what some of the action looks like and all this stuff. But you look at it and it is a workout room. Like there are like weights in this and stuff, and like Aki was telling us fun stories about how like like Kojima goes in there to work out sometimes. In fact, Kojima used to like work out. I think he said either every morning, every morning
with a personal trainer.
Yeah, and like Aki and one of the other people on Kojima's team would like bounce ideas off of Kojima while like doing the workout session or whatever, and then. Once again, Roger asks the question that immediately comes to mind.
How much does he bench?
So Aki specifically said, so like, yeah, every morning, like I used to, me and Kojima would work out, and he just kind of moves on. And then I just kind of look at him and I say, so every morning you and Hideo Kojima would work out? And he was like, yeah. And he was kind of describing how he would just kind of be there and they would do some sets together and everything.
Yeah, and we're like, me and Roger are like, that's fucking awesome, I guess.
I was just like, oh wow, every morning, like,
it's like
I was like, I want to look up, like, is that part of the job? Like, is that in the description? Like, you got to work out.
That would
with
feel like, if Greg, if I came to Kind of Funny every morning and Greg's like, all right, workout time, like, let's go.
Can you say no? Like, no, you can't.
But he showed us that, and then we explored some more areas. They have like a hallway that's filled with all the awards.
Yeah, I have that. And so my favorite part about that is that Aki kind of looked at us and he said, yeah, so, of course we can't have like the Metal Gear awards. That's Konami, right? So we just have our awards, the awards we have. And he kind of said it's sad, and it just takes over the entire wall. Not only just this corridor, but like other corridors. So many awards. They have an award over there, which I think I cut out, but it's on the right, which is from the Japanese government for Death Stranding. So it's like the coolest awards possible.
This right here is their VO room.
Yeah, just
so sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they have the microphone set up, the
Place
TVs
is
in front of
huge.
them,
Oh
so they
my
can
God, this is
match
amazing.
the VO to the actual character animation.
And one question I asked, which was, does Kojima like direct all of these sessions? He's like, yeah, every single session that is like a cutscene or whatever. Like, he said later that day they're gonna have Japanese voice actors come through, like at 4 p.m. It was 1. It should have been there too, but but
we were supposed to have them right now.
yeah, exactly.
We kicked them out.
But yeah, no, he directs them all, which is awesome, which is super cool, and that just shows how much he's working.
Yeah. So we went from this room into, I think the editing bay was after this, or was it the mocap room?
No, that we went into the mixing room where they mix all the audio, and then that was the moment I didn't record because we walked in. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna show you something." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
So it's the wait. Oh, you didn't record this room?
No, well, no, I showed a little bit of it. You'll see in a little bit, but like, yeah, I turned it off because I didn't want to be disrespectful, and also like I asked like, "Hey, when can I record? When can I not record?" And he just never told me, so I was just like, "Okay, I just want to be respectful of everything."
So like this is I believe they posted this room on Twitter. Like if people would recognize it if we described it right. Like it is like the mixing room. It has a big screen in it, and then like a bunch of just like mixing equipment. And it looks super just expensive.
Yes.
But like they sit us down and they're like, "Hey, we want to show you something from an upcoming game."
And I was like, "Oh shit!"
And
it's
we're
the
like,
moment.
"Yeah," and we're like, "Oh, me and Roger are gonna see like never before seen footage." And so we sit down and they play like the Game Awards trailer for OD, the one that we got already, which is still fucking cool.
It was awesome. It was awesome hearing
Yeah.
it all, but it was still like I was ready for it, and I was like, it's cool.
It's still fucking cool to see that trailer in that setting. It's the one with Hunter Schafer and like she's looking at the camera and like saying all the random ass words, and like we're like blown away just for like seeing it in that environment. I asked Aki, I'm like, yo, like, so what's up with this like CG? This is like super realistic CG. Is this state of the art? Like, is this like the best in the industry? And he's like, actually, it is not CG. Like, this is live action footage. We were actually caught by surprise that a lot of people who watched this thought it was CG. This is all live action to kind of portray that like we're doing this in like a very I guess like high def mocap fashion, which is why Hunter and I forget the name of the other actor that's in it were saying the words that they were saying, because those are just like VO, like those are like VO mocap like test words or practice
Exercises, calibrations and things.
And I don't know if that's like public. I don't know if people realize that. I don't know if that's a thing that people have debunked yet online of like, was this CG or not? But yeah, he was like, no, this is not CG. This is like live action stuff, which is really interesting.
Dope, yeah. So then really quick, when we were talking about that as soon as we finished the OD thing, I caught like a little bit of it, so we can play that in a second. But he said, Aki looks at us and says, so like Greg on your team, he was the one that predicted the thing, so we can roll the little clip. It's a fraction of it.
Was going to direct. Yeah, that was Greg on our team.
And we didn't tell Greg at all.
No. Yeah.
When everybody tried to take it.
This was kind of special.
Everyone tried to take it away from me.
That sounded amazing. That was incredible. But so it is confirmed. It is confirmed that Greg did not know.
Thank you for setting the record straight up.
Greg did not know.
Question: just the studio part was really interesting to me, but were there towels over the stands there? Did you see that? Was it like covering up like scripts maybe, or
maybe
maybe just
possibly.
like temperature
Maybe
controlling
PS5
things,
Pro.
like
bunch of PS5
special
Pros.
under
I
those
bet
things,
so.
something top secret.
It's funny. Kojima posted a thing a few days ago, and people were like, "Is he covering a PS5 Pro?" And so maybe towel covers.
Could have been some
Chairs?
scripts or something.
No. In my limited VO experience, I've seen that before. It's so you put it on there, and that way it doesn't reverberate back off. Of
it's for
okay.
sound.
So it's just there to sound.
Okay, that makes a
dampen
lot
the
of
sound
sense.
of
Okay, sounds
whatever.
good.
If we get sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
And then
nice towels.
this is my favorite segment of the video, which is Blessing. You want to?
Oh no, I just want to preface that like
Look at that Mountain Dew.
I was holding the Mountain Dew the entire tour
Yes.
because there were no trash cans.
So everybody, this is the best part. Where Blessing is holding this fucking Mountain Dew the entire time, and this is me trying to pretend that I'm capturing the thing. I'm capturing his Mountain Dew.
Of course.
So I know exactly what's happening. He's just holding it the entire time, label out like it's an ad, walking around with this Mountain Dew.
That's my
and
It was a good Mountain Dew.
Yeah, was it different? Was it any different?
No, it was the exact same.
thing.
So then I believe after this there should be a cut. Yes, turn on the audio, please, if you can. Go back a little bit.
I was looking.
Yeah.
I was looking so hard for a trash can.
Are you looking at the trash cans?
Oh, we're gonna go back to the.
They caught him trying to throw it away.
I was trying to be so sneaky about throwing away this Mountain Dew.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It looked like it looked like we were all supposed to throw it. I
Must
don't know.
carry your trash with you. That's
Yeah.
a Japanese thing.
Just
Yeah.
walking around with this Mountain Dew the entire time. So, I
Yeah.
mean, who's worse, right?
Very cool.
Maybe Roger did get us a little early to the studio, but also maybe Blessing walked
Who's
around
this
with the Mountain
moron
Dew.
walking around the Mountain Dew?
Roger keeps deflecting.
There it is.
So then we're waiting around and we're waiting for this for Hideo to come through. It's like still in the air if he's gonna
Yeah,
come
we're
through.
like he's like, all right, brings us back to the cafeteria, and he's like, all right, let me go check on Kojima to see where he's at in his meetings. So he leaves. He comes back. We're chilling for a little bit, and then the only way that I can describe it, I don't know if you guys are gonna get this reference, but like there's a scene in SpongeBob where a dude like walks into the Krusty Krab and he like swings the door open. He's like, rev up those fryers. That's the
put in
exact
assets.
way. Yeah, put in assets. It's the exact way Kojima busts into the door. Like the doors swing open. Me, Roger, Leanne, looking real like, oh, it's Kojima. like he kind of
Makes
came
an
out of
entrance.
nowhere.
but it's like bang,
He's
like
like,
just
boom.
boom, energy.
Yeah.
Who's here early?
I put it into assets really quick. If you want to.
Military
To be clear, did it,
up those fryers.
Yeah, like
That's it.
that's the exact energy.
did it feel that way to you, or was that the
No,
energy?
that's what happened.
That's the
what-
exact
yeah.
energy. The exact
Like,
energy.
Love it.
Yeah, he walks in with not an entourage, but one other person. But it just felt like boom, like he's the most important man in the room. He knows it. We're going.
Yeah.
So he comes in, and then I
I think we're all like kind of a little bit starstruck in the moment.
yes, yeah.
It was like the first time I was like, aside from being late and being on the phone call and realizing we're late, it was the first time I was like, oh, I'm like a little bit nervous.
Oh,
Like,
really?
This is Hideo Kojima. Like, it's funny. I told you on the way there, I was like, you know how George Miller, Kojima has mentioned George Miller is his god. Kojima is my George Miller, right? Like, I look up to that man. That man has made some of my favorite fiction ever, right? And so like, I'm like, oh, that's him. Like, I can't believe that's Kojima.
This is your first time meeting him.
It's my first time meeting. It's my first time, I think, seeing him, unless maybe I saw him at Game Awards or something on stage. First time meeting him for sure. And yeah, like he comes up and, we're like, we start talking, we start chatting. I can't remember the first things we said.
So it was very much like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, like that type of thing. I get the camera really quick for Leanne's and record, and I think you can just play it. We're just going to be playing it with audio, and then we'll be pausing during moments. So yeah, this is just kind of the entire experience from start to
Nice.
finish, pretty
That's
much.
cool. He was okay with like filming that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, no one said no.
I will say the camera we had was
No.
very low key, and so it's surprised
Okay.
maybe
You're not
they
like-
didn't see it.
Yeah, right. It's that low key. You're wearing just the MetaQuest glasses.
Yeah, there was a moment really quick where like I was talking, where Aki again didn't tell me to like stop recording or anything, but I just like, wanted to make sure he knew I was recording, so I kind of
Yeah.
put the camera right in his face, and he
Sure.
was just
Yeah, he
chilling
was,
with
like,
it.
cool.
So yeah,
Okay,
so I think
that's
it's good. Cool. We wanted to give you a gift. It is all of our favorite pieces of media, and we wrote little notes for you.
I need a table.
Which actually,
Yeah, you can pause really
here.
quick.
What's funny is that I watch so many like culture videos and like when you're traveling to Japan for the first time, videos, things to know. And like when I tell you, I over prepared in terms of like all the YouTube videos I watch. But then one of the things that one of the videos told me was like, when you give somebody a gift in Japan, they won't open it in front of you; they'll take it home. And so I was expecting, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna give this gift to Kojima and he'll open it elsewhere. When I tell you that, when Kojima was like, oh, let's open this, I was like,
you're like,
oh,
what?
all right, cool.
And if you want to go back 5 seconds, you don't need to put up the audio, but just like looking at Roger, right? Like, let's just go into the mind of Roger, right? Roger's trying to represent Kinda Funny in the correct fashion, right? I'm trying to do the right thing of like, hey, it's time for the speech, right? Hey, I've been practicing this. Hey, Kojima, this is all of our favorite media. He picks up, oh, it's heavy. Let's go move. And I'm just like, okay, I guess we're fucking
Reset the speech. Reset the speech.
oh my gosh, we're doing it. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So we go over here. We can put the audio on now. And he starts opening up everything.
Wow.
I'm getting the camera reset, everybody.
Are you gonna shoot the video?
Yeah, she's recording right here.
No.
There it is. He pulls out the sweatshirt first.
Like, crap. Crap and crap.
Kind of funny sweatshirt.
Puts that aside real quick. Shoots the top.
The first thing he gets is the product placement from Leanza. Oh my god.
And they're explaining what the
like,
eye hair, the under eye thing.
He's like, what, you trying to say something about my eyes?
I love it.
So this is.
These are all of our favorite albums and movies. And
Yeah.
we wrote little notes for you.
So he's looking at Tone Deaf.
Okay.
Tone Deaf's album.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm Gucci.
So you got really excited about challenges.
Nice.
He saw the movie.
You saw it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And it's always late. He says this is one of the classic movies. He doesn't know that one.
Yes! He doesn't know
You
it?
didn't know it?
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
No, didn't he say yours was one of the classics? And
To
then-
Die Hard.
To
And then
Die
he's looking.
Hard.
Then he said he doesn't know
Yeah,
coherence.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck, crushed it.
Yeah, Greg Miller's. Yeah.
グレッグ・ミラーのレコメンデ
He
ーション
immediately throws it away.
グレッグ
Like that guy, like Frozen Empire. Get this out of here.
Oh, okay. Pause. Pause.
okay.
So now this is the moment where shit. This is the crossroads moment, right, for Roger, where I completely forgot about Mike's gift until that moment, and it's like
It's funny because I was waiting for it the entire time. I was like,
not.
when's he gonna
I
get?
completely forgot, and he picked it up, and it was like, okay, how do I explain Snowbike Mike this video, the quality of this video, in one sentence, right? Like it's gonna be translated, and I think I
We
do
work with an idiot.
Exactly. I think I did like a decent enough job. If you watch it really quick.
Coworkers. He is he once did extreme sports, so he made a DVD for him.
同僚がこういう
Watch
ス
this.
ポーツやってて監督向けに
You guys crushed this. This is amazing.
Kevin.
ケビンさんが要は
Oh my god.
カインドファニーのところはやっぱり監督のファンがめちゃめちゃ多いのでみんながなんかプレゼント持ってきたいということで持ってきてる
And then Greg Miller wrote a book, a children's book.
子供向けの絵本を作ったんでそれも
So sick.
No.
How is Greg? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's doing
He's
great.
doing very well.
He's doing really amazing.
He's very busy with the child.
Yeah.
Why is he not here?
Physically, condition was like bad for a moment. We thought.
I mean, very.
My cancer.
Yeah.
We had to let him know that I was like a decade ago.
Yeah, I forgot about the cancer. I was like, what happened?
I like how you cut it before you're like, oh, he's been milking cancer for a decade.
We're like, he's not looking so good. He's about to tap out.
So that was it. That was us giving the gifts. And-
Incredible.
That was so
shoot!
cool.
I think I cut it. So there was a part afterwards, right, where he's looking back through the gifts, right, and this is going to set up the next part of this whole conversation. Is he's looking through the gifts and he picks up the Caroline Polachek album, "Desire I Wanted to You" or whatever.
And to even preface this, well, as we're picking our gifts for Kojima, right? Like Roger in the studio, right, has like looked back at me from his desk and is like, dude, I want to give him this Caroline Polachek album.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be his next muse. Right.
Yes.
Like I think I'm a big fan of her. I think Kojima's gonna fuck with her. I think Kojima could even put her in the next game. Like Roger is like trying to speak into existence all these things he wants to happen off of like him getting this gift. But it's like one of those things where, I think we were doing a lot of dreaming during this trip.
Yes.
That was like one of the dreams. I think another one of our dreams was like, what if Kojima posts us like one of the celebrities he meets? And it's like it's one of those things that we say and we're like, that's not gonna happen though.
So good.
Right?
This is so good.
So fast forward, right?
Well, yeah, so-
Kevin has brought up the tweet from Kojima that he took with us, which was like, again, we took the picture, and there's so many cool interactions we had in this moment. One of the ones was us taking the picture with Kojima, and then them asking us like, Kojima wants to know if it's okay if he posts this. And we're like, yeah. Like,
Excuse me? Yes.
Like,
yes.
of course, yes.
If you want to.
I was so for me, like stoked to see this because it was like I woke up the next morning because it was just Japan time, and it was the first I saw it all over my feed. I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad because I had forgotten even what day the trip was or what the visit was, and then to see him post and see everything about it.
So surprising lack of Mountain Dew in that photo. But I'll let you
That's why
slide on
you
that.
can't see Bless's right hand. He's holding the can behind him.
It's in there.
And then I just want to show everybody this photo because this is the photo of just us before I pulled in Leanza, and just Blessing just fucking stand, like,
on cloud 1,000. Look at him.
It's the biceps, you know. It's like I can't put my arms
no room
down.
for him.
It's also one of those things where I don't know. I pose weird when I'm nervous.
No, I get it. I just want to give you shit. I thought it was funny, but the moment before that I was talking about was that he's looking through the gifts one more time, and then he picks up the Caroline album, and I knew in my heart I was like, he's going to love this album. So I look at him and I say, Kojima, I think you would really specifically like this one. He picks it up, looks at it, kind of puts it aside, like kind of like lightly acknowledges it, and I'm like, that's the end of it. At least I tried, right? So then if you could pull up the next tweet, the day after, I see this, which it's him listening to the album, and he posts it.
My God.
And I'm like, this is my win. This is the win. Like he knows her. He's listening to her. He knows she exists. This is all I need, right? Like, awesome. I'm freaking out. This is all the confirmation. And then 2 days ago, last night, I don't know, time is fucking
yesterday.
I can't tell anymore. 2:30 a.m. He posts this. He writes, last year I was curious about Caroline Polachek's album Desire I Want to Turn Into You. I never got around to listening to it, but kind of funny's Roger gave me this CD as a birthday present the other day. Since then I've been listening to it on repeat. It's great. I liked it so much that I bought her previous album, Pang.
Let's
Massive
fucking
dub.
go.
Let's go.
Dude.
Wow.
It's not the lock anymore. It's the tastemaker.
Let's go, baby.
Dub.
Roger also pointed out that like they follow each other. Kojima's been liking her tweets as well.
Yes.
Well, go ahead. It's your story.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, it was incredible. So the last tweet before that, when he posts good morning, right? So Caroline tweeted for the first time since May, and she replied to him in Japanese saying, you know, good morning as well. And they followed each other, and then that happened. So, like, yeah.
So then, the follow.
The dot connector.
I
Let's
know.
go.
God, dude.
Yesterday, he puts out that tweet, but then he also Instagram posts it.
Yes.
And then she put it in her story, her astonishment that he was doing it or
Yes.
whatever. So it's like, you're doing it.
It's like things are
She's going to be in
And
Death
it's
Stranding too.
happening.
because
And
of
this
you.
is the full circle fucking moment, everybody, that someone responded with, and I haven't been able to find the exact message or like the actual thread because it's on Instagram, so you can't actually search comments. So this happened a long time ago, but it was definitely during her first album, Pang, during like maybe an AMA of sorts. I remember seeing this, so I know this is a real thing. If you want to pull that up, Kevin, this is so it says someone asked her, what are some of your favorite video games? What kind of games are you most drawn to? She says, not a gamer, but I love the way Return of the Oberdin looks. Someone asks her about Ocarina of Time, and then she responds, it's cutting it off for the viewers, Kevin. But she wrote, definitely it would be an absolute dream to compose themes for Hideo Kojima. It is
circle.
It is an honor because
this is
I'm a
beautiful.
massive Caroline Polachek fan.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So she is an incredible artist. She is a pop musician. Her voice she's able to modulate it in ways that I can't even describe. Everyone should listen to Caroline Polachek and watch her videos because she has such an eye for video production, and her music videos are just on another level.
What's the go-to album?
I would say Desire I Want to Turn Into You, which is the newest album that I gave to him, but also genuinely, and this is gaming the system, right? Because I'm like, I know I'm giving him this album, right? And I'm like, because she looks like a fucking model. Like she is like someone that he would scan immediately. And I was like, which album cover has her more in it, right? So like I chose that one specifically because I'm like, I know that one, he's gonna look at that and be like, oh, that's someone I want to scan. Like that's someone I want in my games. But yeah, no, she is an incredible artist, and it's truly an honor to like be able to make any type of small dream for hers come true potentially. Like I think it's gonna happen. I think it's going to happen. What we're gonna see in the next few months. She loves going to Japan. She loves Japanese culture. I believe she lived in Japan for a little bit. So like she's gonna be there. They're gonna take the photo together, and I wrote in my message to Kojima, I said in parentheses, like she would make a great theme song for OD specifically. So like I hope it happens, and that would be incredible.
I freaking love it.
That's for us a little special thanks in the credits. That's all you need.
Just a little bit. Just a
Special
little
thanks to
bit.
Kind of Funny is Roger.
Thanks for the connection.
Kind of Funny in all caps, Roger.
Yo, if we can go back a little bit, all that was cool. It was a great conversation. But there's a picture, I think, when you guys got the full shot. I wanted to see what his sneakers were.
Oh,
I wanted to see the kick game. So if we can go back a little bit to that full shot, I was trying to see him. It went pretty fast.
As they're pulling that up, right? Some more moments I want to highlight. When Kojima like picked up challenges or whatever, right, and like was looking at it, Aki was doing translating, and one of the things Aki mentioned was like, oh yeah, like Kojima decided his friend Trent does the soundtrack.
Oh my god!
In my head, I'm like, Trent Reznor, Kojima's friend Trent Reznor. Oh, look at these kicks!
Oh my gosh! Holy shit!
You guys didn't notice these? You were too soft.
No, completely. Some Andy Cortez shoes right there. Awesome.
I also just want to acknowledge Kojima's energy is immaculate.
Yes,
like
Presto.
He was so chill. He was so cool. He had like he had a sense of humor to him, but I couldn't tell if like the sense of humor was like if he knew he was as funny as he is. Because like one of the things that I'll tell him the final thing that we left off with, right? Where we're saying our goodbyes. They're handing us like these fun like gift packages to take.
How long
home.
did you hang out with him?
Only like what 10 minutes?
That video was like 4 minutes. We maybe another 4 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so it was pretty quick. But like in that in that 10 minutes, right? Like. He was very friendly. He was very accommodating. He was very nice. And like, as we're saying goodbyes, the Aki and Kojima, like Kojima said something, and Aki like turns to us and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Kojima would like to ask you guys, like, how long are you guys in town for? Like, when do you guys leave?" And me and Roger, and internally, like, I think we both have the same.
We looked at each other
thought.
and we knew.
We're like. Kojima wants to hang out with us. Like
easy.
Kojima's gonna ask
he
us
was
to hang
wondering
out.
if you could pick up his dry cleaning.
and so we're like, we're in town for about 4 more days. We leave on a Saturday evening, and Kojima said something, and Aki's like, okay, well, Kojima says that there's a typhoon coming, so be safe out there.
It was just the most humbling moment. We're like, so humbling.
He like immediately inflates a fucking life preserver and gets on a helicopter.
It was like the whole time. Me and Roger Radford are like, does he know how funny he is? Does he realize how funny that is?
The best part about that was that, we didn't show it on our face. At least hopefully we didn't show it on our faces. But like afterwards, I thought it was just a me thing, right? That I thought, it was just like I got my expectations too high. And then Blessing looked at me. He's like, no, I felt the same exact thing. Like I thought we were hanging out with Hunter Schafer.
The way he asked, I was like, we're hanging out with Kojima Friday night. Let's fucking go.
It's gonna be lit.
Him and Guillermo del Toro are drinking their faces off and want to know if you want to come with them. Insane.
Yeah,
I had a moment like that. I met Keiji Inafune in Japan. I went out there. The guy who created Mega Man. He's like my
cool.
guy.
Of course.
So like just having a moment like that was kind of similar. We were finishing up, and he's like, thanks for everything. Go ahead. He said like, are you hungry? Are you guys hungry? And I was like, we could eat. And he was like, my favorite curry spot is right down the street.
Peace. Yeah.
I love the "Are you hungry?" though. He could have just been like, "Oh, it's a good curry spot down there." They're just like, "Are you hungry?"
We were okay.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and it was also I think
it was good. We had curry.
I think the reason why we were like all hyped up, we're like, "Oh, maybe this might happen," is because right before that he was telling the story about how Hunter Schafer came through and it was like really late. So then they got like their favorite sushi chef to come through and do a private dinner and everything. So I was like, "Oh shit!"
insane.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what up? What if? What if? No. It was great. It was great though. It was a great.
So
time.
talk to me about then. So where's the recap after this? Is it right into the Uber, or do you go somewhere and just like take that breath?
We went to there was a cafe on the bottom floor that we sat down and we took the breath and like drank tea and we're just like gushing about every single thing that just happened. When I tell you that, like, I was like, this is one of my favorite experiences I've ever had in my life, right? Like, it was one of the coolest things possible to happen to me. And yeah, I think we all felt the same way of like, yo, this was crazy. And it happened beat for beat the exact way we want it.
Yep.
So yeah, we
Except for
definitely
being
took
an hour early.
Except for being an hour early.
That was fine.
Which ended up being very okay, right? Like, it ended up working out the exact way we wanted it to. And honestly, it added to the story because we were like, how insane is it that we got there an hour early?
Better than an hour late, for sure.
But yeah, no, we hung out there and we just kind of like, I didn't even take out the camera because I was like, we just got to talk. We just got to like talk as a family right now. Like, we experienced that. We all experienced, and then him and I would just, Blessing and I would just look at each other the rest of the day and I'd just be like,
that was crazy.
Yeah, no, I would just look at you and just start laughing and be like, is it the typhoon thing? I'm like, yeah, it's the typhoon thing.
Oh, dude, the typhoon thing killed us. There was another one where like, we were talking to Aki, I think before even Kojima came out. and where we were like, I think we were talking about Greg, or we were talking about like,
yes.
yeah, we were like, oh yeah, like is Kojima like expecting us? Does he know it's not Greg? And he's like, oh yeah, like when you said kind of funny, I think he was expecting Greg, but we keep reminding him.
I was very clear in the emails that I wasn't coming.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he said until even that morning he thought that Greg was coming through.
Yeah, so I think it's
We heard his health's bad.
Yeah, and then
Really?
I forget how he said, because there's a quote that he said. I forget how he got there.
With what?
Yeah,
oh shit. Oh yeah, you looked at me and then you said, you said Roger. Oh, you were making the joke of like, when he comes out, he's gonna look at me and then say, oh, you lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yes. Yeah, like, we were like, oh, he's gonna come out and think Roger's Greg and be like, oh yeah, you lost a lot of weight. And then Aki's like, yeah, we just gotta keep like, reinforcing that like, it's not Greg. And like, we're like, oh yeah, you gotta be like, the bigger one or whatever. Like we were like, how can you describe Greg to Hideo Kojima for the group of Americans coming? Oh my god! And we're just fucking like, again, Aki's so chill. That's like the coolest guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. They rolled out the red carpet. They stopped what they were doing in the moment to bring. Cool. It was super sweet. And yeah, it was an incredible experience. We thank you both for allowing us to have that. No, that was
incredible,
man.
That was awesome.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
So I know this isn't the question. This is more of a statement of content. We're doing the Astrobot stuff you did later. Obviously, the game's not out, so that's the whole thing there. But you had said, I believe, that the original plan at one point was to go do the Astrobot stuff and then drink till the sun came up. Did that happen?
No, the typhoon. The
typhoon came and ruined it.
Kojima warned us about the typhoon. Yeah, no, that night we're prepared. We're ready to do it. We went there.
It was Thursday night.
Because we were telling you, I was telling you, other people too, Golden Guy.
Literally every single person I asked was like, Golden Guy. And so
and if you're not familiar with Golden Guy, sorry to cut you off. It's a district there in Japan made up of like these micro bars of people who have like retrofitted homes and things like that. So you walk in and it's literally a bar that has 4 seats or something like that. It's incredibly intimate. And I want to say there's hundreds of them. I forget what the actual number is.
It's a lot.
So we were literally on our way. Like we were like, all right, let's go to the train.
We're going to push through.
We're going to do it. And then it starts raining. And like on our way, we were like, I was like, I need different shoes. Because I was wearing shoes that were not built for the rain because I wasn't expecting it on that level.
Crocs.
And so, like, I'm wearing, like, literally the shoes I'm wearing right now, which are, like, basically sponges. And so at a certain point, my feet were soaked. And we were like, okay, let me drop by the store, get some shoes. We came out, and, like, it started raining even more to the point where we were like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, I got scared pretty fast.
And Roger's like, I didn't even find the shoes I was looking for. Like, we were like, whatever, we'll find another place to get shoes, whatever. And then, like, as we're walking, it starts raining to a point where Roger's like, what if we just got these shoes and went home? And I was like, Roger, I don't even need the shoes. Let's just go, let's just go home. And so sadly, we weren't able to make it out to Golden Guy that night. And then the next day, we ended up, it was funny, like, we had plans to, like, go to Akihabara, do all these things. I ended up waking up super early, and I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm gonna do a solo adventure and let Roger and Leanza do like a couple's day out, and like we both actually went to Akihabara and did our own.
We just met up.
We were
buying egg sandwiches.
It's so funny. We were both at Akihabara, did not meet up. We were like doing our own things. That was really fun.
Met a kind of funny best friend randomly. Yeah, I was in Super Potato at the top floor, and then someone walked up to me and was like, "Hey, are you Roger from Kind of Funny?" I looked at him. I was like, "This is the first time I've ever been recognized, period, in public, and it's in Japan. Like that's so wild."
That's so Super Potato, amazing retro video games.
Really
super cool. They have any Neo Geos in there?
They had everything.
They usually got a bunch of.
They had everything in there. Really enjoyed that.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah,
because I didn't know your experience at Super Potato.
Oh yeah, Super Potato. Like it was my favorite place in Akihabara. I will say overall, I feel like not that I was overhyped. I feel like I was wrongly hyped for Akihabara as a whole.
Really?
Because it felt like, I mean, it was just a bunch of like tech shops and video game stores and all these things. And I feel like if I'm not somebody who's a collector necessarily, I feel like I'm not really a physical person anymore. And so it was one of those things where I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm looking at a bunch of games, but I can't really do much with this. And a lot of the games weren't even like retro stuff until I got to Super Potato, which had everything. And like it almost felt like I was stepping into a different time, stepping into Super Potato, where I walk in, first thing I see is a what do they call the square TVs, old TVs,
CRT.
The CRT TV with like Mario demo, the VHS playing on it. I'm looking around, just a bunch of like Nintendo, like old school Nintendo stuff, all Japanese. So I'm like looking at all this stuff. Every floor is like a different console too. So I go from like nerding out over Nintendo stuff and being like, oh, I guess they don't have PlayStation stuff. And then I look at the stairs and the stairs are pointing up towards PlayStation. Oh, there it is. But the stairs are pointing up towards PlayStation. I walk up and I'm like looking at all this cool PlayStation stuff. I'm like looking at like old school PSP stuff. I see like Peace Walker, like a Japanese copy of Peace Walker that I take a picture and I send to Greg. But yeah, like
my favorite thing
everything's there.
Was the exact same experience I had, which is I'm looking at a copy of Pokemon Green.
Oh,
right
yes.
now. This feels.
That was even at a different place.
Yeah, Pokemon Green wasn't even at Super Potato. Well, they probably actually do have it, but I
bought Pokemon Green at Super Potato when I was there.
Yeah. Seeing that in the flesh was crazy. I was like, man, I've heard the legends. But to see it in person, I can't believe Pokemon Green is real. But
I realized you asked me if I wanted anything, and I didn't think until afterwards. I was like, I want a copy of Doki Doki Panic.
Oh.
Which I've never even seen it. But I should Google it.
We could have made that happen.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
that'll
no,
be my next trip.
For me, Akihabara was exactly. I felt the same way. Of like it was like wrongly hyped, but it was a great time. It was a good
thing
time.
is, I went to like I forget the name of the store. It was like Bic something.
What?
It was like the big like
Bic Camera.
Bic Camera.
Yeah.
Which was like
I didn't even
just
go there.
Best Buy.
Yeah.
I went and I was like, oh, this is Best Buy.
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of tech stuff.
For me, I'm more motivated for less of the Super Potato side of things, but more of like finding the weird niche like deals. So I went to Book Off, which is it's a chain of thrift stores essentially that have a bunch of DVDs and stuff. I got everyone a personalized DVD from Japan, which was sick. And then
Thank
just
you for
like
my Ghostbusters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta get it. But Tim, that was hard for you because there were so many Tim movies, right?
yeah.
There was so many Fast and
much
Furious
bullshit.
things.
And the Fast and Furious all have fun names.
Yeah.
Like crazy ass, like Arctic Storm and whatever.
Yeah,
It's like they're the best.
Oh shit, there was one where it was just Too Fast, Too Furious, and on this it was normal, but on the side it said the Paul Walker Tyrese experience or something like that, and I was like, fuck, I might have to get this. But it was all in English, but it was like, I
love it.
But yeah, no, that was the exciting part for me, was like digging through crates of things and trying to find, like, I found a copy of Yakuza 0 pretty much new for like $10. Like, and I was like, that was my only disappointment for this trip. It's like there's no Like a Dragon or Yakuza merch anywhere. Period. End of story. Like, there's apparently this game is extremely popular, but no one makes any merch and there's nothing anywhere.
I hit up my friends. I was like, all right, like, what do you guys want? I had hit up Belinda Yusuf and I was like, hey, what are like your favorite Pokemon, right? And Yusuf's like, oh, I like Gengar. Or not Gengar. He's like, I like Haunter. And when I tell you that, like, man, I learned about Pokemon favoritism because there's 0 Haunter things.
Of course.
0 Haunter, a
Big
billion
Gengar
merchandise. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I can't find anything for you. Went to Don Quixote. I liked it. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, it's touristy, it's whatever, which it is, but it was still fun to like explore all the floors. That was the one in Akihabara, and I also went to the one that's in Shibuya as well. Went to like multiple Pokemon centers. That was really cool. Went to the top of
Saw Mewtwo
in Shibuya at the top floor. I forget the name of the mall that we went to, but like it's like a Nintendo store right across from the Pokemon Center in the same place as like the Jump store and also a Capcom store, all in one complex. And so that was fucking cool.
Japan.
Let me tell you what a fucking disappointment. Go to the Capcom store. What is about to release from Capcom?
Nobody cares about Dead
Rising Deluxe Remaster?
Japan.
You don't have anything? You have nothing. Nothing? Come on, guys. Figure it out. Japan.
That Capcom store was lacking overall because there wasn't even that much Street Fighter stuff. I felt it was like
Street Fighter, Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered, same deal.
On the same level.
Same excitement. Come on.
I don't know if you experienced this because we had very separate experiences in Akihabara. A lot of porn.
Oh yeah.
I was just like walking through a floor and I'm like, I know there's a lot of porn
And then
here.
tell me what you told us.
Wait,
you walked up there and then you looked at it and you said, I'm already here. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, when you're at Rome.
That's why I came home with that big suitcase.
It was funny because we went to I think it was Super Potato, and like every floor, different consoles or generation or whatever. And then like down the block, there was this like porn shop, and I'm like, well, we gotta check this out. And it was the exact same thing, but it was just every floor was like different genres.
Oh,
different things.
we might have went to the same one.
Probably, yeah.
Because like the one I went to was like the first floor was like anime merchandise, and I was like, oh, cool. Let me see what else is there. Porn.
The gradual rise, yeah.
Every other floor was porn, or every single floor was porn except for the first one.
I might have been to that one too. They had a layout.
We all
of
just
all
found
of
ourselves lost in there.
We just found ourselves lost in there.
I don't know. Yeah, they had a ton of like toys that you could press a button and watch them go. It's like, all right, I remember filming it.
Like what kind of toys?
Like sexual
Oh,
toys.
okay, cool.
Yeah, and you press it, and you're like, all right, this one has the pump action. This one has 3-finger action. This one has 5-finger action. Like, you're just going up, and I'm like, my God, this is out of control. But I'm like, let me press it and just see what it does, you know?
That's sick.
You can just, it's got demos,
Incredible.
you know?
Little demos. I love that.
So good.
Yeah, I know. It was a great time. It was an incredible
I couldn't
experience.
get Roger and Leanza to come with me to the SpongeBob Cafe.
No.
Yeah. So it ended up not going.
After I heard him getting ripped off for $40 for two whiskeys, I was like, I'm going to hold.
It was 2 whiskeys and good conversation.
That's true. Actually, you can't put a
Priceless.
price on that.
Can't put a price
Just like
on
this
that.
podcast.
We have some super chats I'd like to get to before we wrap the show up here. Street Shadow writes in saying, I hope you had fun in Japan. I go often for work. I'm actually work near the Kojima and Sony headquarters.
Oh.
I want to say if you ever go back, check out Soul Food House. It's a black-owned business in Tokyo. So
That's
good.
sick.
That sounds awesome.
Putting that down.
Guitar Hero, a little off topic here, but saying this weekend I added the most shameful completion yet to my PSN profile. The Skull and Bones Platinum
Oh, Jesus.
is now mine. Here's to hours of KF Gamescast that got me through it. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry you did that.
I want
to
to know
yourself.
how
You might be
long
the-
that takes.
Are you the
I
only
wanna
person?
I'm going to go to PSN profile, see how many people have that.
Then Devontae writes the question everyone's been asking. Did Kojima scan Roger and Bless?
And that was the heartbreaking thing. We saw they showed us the scanning room, and they said we don't use this anymore. Then we said we use this. This is outdated hardware. It's 10 years old. We actually use this for like random like bricks.
objects.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a
it's like they
sandal
want
or
to
whatever.
scan a shoe or like an umbrella or
But they still have to
something.
remake it. Like they use it as like the basis of it, but they like remake it afterwards. So yeah, it's heartbreaking. They said they do it in a different place now, a different country. So it's like, damn, I was ready to get scanned, bro.
I
I was
know.
wearing my
Yeah.
scan
Yeah.
Bet
outfit.
you they say that to some of the guests.
It's like the fucking ice cream machine at McDonald's. It's like, oh,
Take
it's
it down.
broken.
Like, well,
It'd be hilarious. Like they say that to us,
And there's
then
another hidden
we
Nokia.
like walk
This
past
way.
being a carpenter in a mocap suit. On our way out.
That's so funny. All right, well, what a fun episode. Thank you all for giving us these fun stories. I'm
Love it.
happy you had as much fun as we hoped that you would. Megaran, thank you for joining us as well. Again, happy birthday. You were here, so we're like, let's get you here.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, and what do you want them to support right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm on Patreon. I do 2 songs a month, different tracks that I'm working on, instrumentals. I have a children's album that is out now, dedicated to my new little boy who's about to be 3.
Crazy.
And yeah, time's just flying. I am on tour. I am playing tonight in San Francisco and then going to the East Coast to play with the Cybertronic Spree. I don't know if you've heard of these
Hell
guys.
yes, that
They're
is
amazing.
amazing. This is a band that dresses up in full Transformers cosplay, and it is the
It's
most
kinda serious.
elaborate. Like, they look like Transformers.
That's
Oh,
sick.
it's
And
sick.
they go so fucking hard. That is awesome, dude.
It's so sick. So yes, I'll be on the East Coast with them all this week. You can get tickets and all that stuff at megaran.com/shows.
We've watched them on Inner Explorers, y'all. Like these people are legendary. That's awesome. Y'all about to have so
Yeah, they're
much fun.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out all that stuff. And yeah, we're about to have even more fun here. Thank you. Yeah, so freaking cool, dude. And they
So
rock.
good.
They fucking rock.
Hell
Like
yeah.
they're so sick. Anyways, stay hanging out if you're on Twitch. We're about to do a fun little game stream. If you're on YouTube, you need to jump over to the other link. But either way, we appreciate you. Let us know in the comments below how excited you are for the Kojima experience that Bless and Roger got to have. But until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.